What do you guys wish you were better at when it comes to running your business?
Saying no. That's one thing that's been really hard is you get a lot of requests for your time and your money, sometimes in dubious nature. We've learned how to say no to them, but it's the well-meaning people that you want to help that you can't always help that I think that has been hard for us. Not every opportunity is a real good business opportunity. That's one thing we've learned, without getting into specifics about the nature of beer law. We have limitations to what we can do, that some of those limitations have freed up a bit, but you want to accommodate every customer that you can, and sometimes it's not financially smart to do that.
Right.
And so we've done some things over the years that we felt were opportunities to generate revenue, and then the commitment on the other side of that commitment really dropped the ball, and then we're holding either inventory or materials to accommodate that type of commitment. And so we've had some interesting discussions even this year about saying no to certain opportunities, which, for some people, they might think that, you're crazy for saying no to opportunities. But if, let's just talk about cash flow, for example. If your outlay is such that you're not generating that return on that investment in a relatively tighter window, because that's really important right now, is turning profit and cash flow in tighter windows than what we had in the past because of interest rates or other types of inflationary pressures from the finance side, then sometimes you're losing money. We used to do retail events on the eastern part of the state a lot, and our time and our travel was comped by us to go and support those.
Yep.
And we always asked, is this really making us that much money? And the answer was sometimes it was losing us money, even though we were getting the quote-unquote exposure that we felt that was necessary to promote our business. Now, there's some of that is valuable, and there are things that we continue to do that we find value in, but some of it wasn't. And that's one of the things that we've had kind of a hard time, discerning. And that's where I wish we were better at is, discerning what are true opportunities and saying no to those that sometimes don't benefit us like we think they should.
Yeah. One thing I've really had to work on, and this is from day one, is just this sheer stubbornness that if I work harder, we do better.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always translate.
No.
And it's still something I struggle with to this day. I come in, do whatever you need to do, that not necessarily equals a win in that case. And like Caleb had touched on earlier, how much we can't control.
Yeah.
That's been hard for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we've been very intentional about doing to generate revenue and sustainable business opportunities, and for reasons that are entirely out of our control or through the nature of just Nebraska beer law, they end up not being profitable, activities for us to be engaged in. So we've learned a lot through the last 3 years. I think more than I think we sat down and wrote it down. I think it'd be interesting to see what we actually have really learned over the last 3 years.
Well, and those are both of what you guys talked about. Those are lessons that you learn the hard way, but you don't forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's an opportunity where you thought there was money that could be made and it turns out you lost money, or a situation, Mike, what you were talking about, you can just get to the point where you're just burned out and don't want to do it anymore. There's a certain point where just working harder isn't going to, get you what you need.
Right. And we try to work smarter to alleviate